Rafizi was back at the MACC headquarters today to submit additional evidence. He also commented on Azam Baki's farewell speech. Meanwhile, Lim Lip Eng has called on the government to formally object to Joe Low's move to seek a pardon from Trump. This and more on KiniNews. Former Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli returned to the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya this morning to submit additional evidence on the probe into a 1.1 billion ringgit semiconductor deal with UK-based ARM Holdings. He said he had submitted around 10 to 15 pages of additional evidence. Speaking to reporters after giving his statement, he said the evidence showed that the decision on the deal had followed proper procedures and did not involve him alone.
Dan keputusannya adalah keputusan kabinet. Bila keputusan kabinet itu, dia bukan melibatkan saya seorang. Dia 3 watak utama lah yang terlibat, ialah Perdana Menteri sendiri, kemudian Tengku Zafrul, dan kemudian Senator Amir Hamzah. Jadi bahan-bahan bukti yang saya serahkan tadi, termasuklah dokumen-dokumen yang pada pandangan saya lah, menunjukkan bahawa keputusan itu telah mengikuti proses yang sepatutnya dan juga keterlibatan 3 orang inilah.
Earlier, Rafizi had also commented on former MACC chief Azam Baki's farewell speech, in which Azam said he would not forgive those who had launched personal attacks against him and his family. In response, Rafizi said the remarks had implications for the MACC and cases it was investigating.
Sebenarnya itu adalah satu kenyataan yang ada kesan kepada SPRM kerana agensi-agensi penguatkuasa yang diberi amanah untuk melaksanakan undang-undang tidak boleh ada perasaan peribadi. Dia mestilah nampak bebas dan kebal daripada kritikan kerana mereka mesti berpandukan kepada bukti dan undang-undang semata-mata. Tambah dalam situasi saya, apabila Tan Sri Azam Baki menyebut dia tidak akan maafkan orang yang menyerang, maksudnya ada elemen emosi yang besar dalam kenyataan itu. Dan dalam tempoh 2-3 tahun yang lepas, daripada sebelum kerajaan ini mengambil alih sehinggalah setahun yang lepas, antara orang yang paling lantang mengkritik adalah saya lah. Dan kritikan itu bukan soal saya suka tak suka kepada Tan Sri Azam Baki, tapi untuk memastikan bahawa SPRM itu bukan saja bebas dan bersih, tetapi mesti diyakini bebas dan bersih oleh rakyat.
From now on, you can also listen to KiniNews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Scan the QR code on the screen to follow us.
Kepong MP Lim Lip Eng has called on the government to send a diplomatic protest to the United States over attempts by Joe Low to seek a pardon from US President Donald Trump for crimes linked to the 1MDB scandal. In a statement today, Lim said he was surprised by Communications Minister Fahmi Fazil's statement that the issue would be brought to the cabinet next week.
He stressed that in an issue of this magnitude, Malaysia cannot be seen to be slow and calculative, and an official protest must be sent through diplomatic channels to the US. He added that the country's stance is clear, which is that Low cannot be pardoned, he must be arrested, extradited, and brought back to face the law in Malaysia. Lim also stated that former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak should not be granted any pardons after he was convicted for graft in 2 cases involving 1MDB. Yesterday, it was reported that Low had applied for a pardon from Trump. According to the Wall Street Journal, the application seeks a pardon after completion of sentence, and the status is still pending. Low, who is believed to be hiding in China, is wanted on criminal charges, including alleged conspiracy to embezzle 1MDB funds.
Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has expressed Malaysia's objection to Norway's revocation of the export license for the Naval Strike Missile System and its associated systems. In a post on Facebook, Anwar said he had conveyed the objection in a telephone conversation with Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store.
He stressed that Malaysia has honored every obligation under this contract since 2018, scrupulously, faithfully, and without equivocation. He added that Norway, it seems, has not felt compelled to extend the same courtesy and demonstration of good faith. Anwar said he had also made it clear that the decision will have grave consequences for Malaysia's defense operational readiness and the littoral combat ship modernization program. He added that it will undoubtedly carry broader ramifications for regional balance. Anwar also stated that signed contracts are solemn instruments and are not confetti to be scattered in such a capricious manner. He said if European defense suppliers reserve the right to renege with impunity, their value as strategic partners flies out the window. The Norwegian Foreign Ministry has reportedly withdrawn several export licenses related to certain technologies as part of the country's move to tighten export controls. If you like the stories we produce, consider supporting us by subscribing to Malaysia Kini. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe.
UMNO's Khairi Jamaluddin has credited Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim with stabilizing the economy and improving the country's standing with investors. However, he said most ordinary Malaysians have yet to feel the benefits.
In an interview with Bloomberg, Khairi said that the man on the street is not feeling the macroeconomic numbers, the GDP growth, the lower unemployment, and the stronger ringgit. He added that younger voters want politicians to understand their concerns, particularly over the cost of living, identity, jobs, and economic mobility. Bloomberg quoted Khairi as saying that he has had 3 years of conversations with many Malaysians through his podcast and radio gig. He added that he thinks this has given him a better understanding of public sentiment as he is within the arena of the people. According to Bloomberg, the Malaysian economy grew 5.3% in the first quarter, outpacing neighbors such as Thailand and Singapore. The ringgit also extended its run as Asia's best performing currency against the dollar for the second year in a row.
Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak has obtained a stay of execution on a High Court order to pay $1.3 billion in damages to SRC International Sdn Bhd. This is pending the disposal of his appeal against the judgment.
In his verdict today, Judge Ahmad Fairuz Zainal Abidin said Najib had successfully proven that there were special circumstances to grant a stay. These special circumstances include the proceedings instituted by the Inland Revenue Board against Najib, as well as fines imposed against the former Pandan MP that arose from criminal convictions linked to the 1MDB scandal. He said it is best that the case is finally determined at the highest level before any enforcement is allowed, and this is how the other matters have been dealt with. The court on March 31st had ordered Najib to repay SRC $1.18 billion for losses suffered by the company after finding that the former Prime Minister had committed misfeasance. Fairuz in the same judgment also ordered Najib to repay $120 million of SRC funds that had been credited into his personal account. In today's proceedings, the judge also ordered Najib to pay 2 million ringgit in costs to the plaintiff's solicitors and 150,000 ringgit in costs to each third-party solicitor. The civil action filed in 2021 is part of SRC and related entities' efforts to recover billions lost in transactions linked to the wider 1MDB scandal.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm John. Thanks for watching.